video here. This is Cindy Eiler, and I just got back from leading my Mt Shasta Spiritual Journey over the weekend, and it was purely amazing. It was probably the best Shasta journey that I've done, and I've been doing them for many years. This year, it ended up being a blessing in disguise because we had the most outstanding time ever as a result. We found some new places that were way more amazing than the places that we had been going to over the years. So it just turned out to be so magical, so inspirational, so surreal, and probably one of the most beautiful unfoldings ever in Mt Shasta. I just want to talk, well, first I'll just say that we were doing this amazing group exercise at one point where we were sitting in a circle, and it's part of the release part, because every activity that we do during the spiritual journeys are all for a reason and very intentional. So each day the journey is very intentional on what we're working on, what we're taking our participants through. And so on the second day, we work on releasing anger and things that are in our way, because the only way to really raise your vibration and get to a better feeling place and to reach your dreams and desires and feel aligned with your creator is to release the stuff that just bogs us down. So what we were doing was sitting by the river in this most beautiful place, and it was like we had the whole place to ourselves. It was so magical. And I was saying to say one thing that has really been bugging you in your life recently. And so we took turns, and what you had to do was say what one thing was really bothering you, and then if it had to do with a person or a situation, it didn't matter. But if you could say one thing to the person or the situation, what would that be? And to be really transparent, say whatever it is, even if it included swear words, it didn't matter. There was no judgments. This was about letting go. And so the person would say their little story, and then they would say what they would want to say if they could. And then every one of us, the rest of us in the group, would listen to the story, and if it was us, we would come up with something that we would say if we were in their position. And so Homer would beat his drum, and then all at the same time, we'd all scream out whatever it is that we would say to the person or the situation. And it was really funny because it was like, oh, get off your lazy butt, or it could be anything, so, but we were all just screaming at the same time, and sometimes you could hear people and sometimes you couldn't, and it was just really funny. We would start laughing, and it was a really great way to support each other and let these things go, and at the same time we were getting the anger or the frustration out of ourselves, even if that wasn't our situation. Certainly if we were screaming something, there must be something in our life that we could relate to in the same way, even if it's not the same thing. So anyway, after we did that, then we would all say together, I acknowledge and hear your pain, and I'm willing to set you and me free. And then we'd all say, aho. And it was just so powerful and so amazing. And so after everybody did that, we got up and we did a drum dance. And we were all, there was 4 extra drums, and 4 people at a time would be in the middle and doing a drum dance where they would beat the drum and just connect with the drum and dance the drum's dance. And everybody else would be in a circle with rattles or bells or whatever, and we would be playing those and supporting the people in the middle until they were ready to pass the drums on to the next people. And it was so amazing and so beautiful. And then it ended up being really funny at the end. And I actually posted that one little clip on my YouTube channel. And then when we finished, we were all just like laughing, and we felt so free and we felt so good. And all of a sudden, directly after we finished, two eagles came flying over and circling around us, and then flying away and coming back and circling around us. And they kept doing it. It was so awesome. It was just like, it was the drumming and the energy that we were getting them all, you know, really excited, and they were just loving it. And I really also feel like it was a big, huge sign for us as the journey leaders for what we were going through before the journey, the stuff that was happening. It was just a sign that, you know, you guys are perfect and just keep doing what you're doing. And then finally the eagles went up in the trees right above us, and they were just making all kinds of noise. And I've never really heard eagles making noise before. And in fact, all these times we've gone to Shasta, we've never had an eagle experience. And when we first got there, I was saying to my friends, the other journey leaders, I want to manifest an eagle feather on this trip. And I didn't get a feather, but I got those two eagles, and that was pretty incredible. Who gets two eagles flying around them? And then on the last day, after we finished with the group, everybody left but the journey leaders, and we were back at that river again, and we just went to sit down by the river, and a couple of us just sat with our feet inside the river, and two of us went into the river, and we were just talking and just like letting go and, you know, chilling out after the 3-day. We work really hard on these journeys, so we were just chilling out and just really enjoying the amazing feeling of that area. It's just so gorgeous. And all of a sudden we look, and here comes an eagle flying up the river towards us. We're like, oh my gosh, an eagle. And he came flying by us and circled and then sat in the tree right near us for a long time. I bet he was there till we left, because I kept looking and he was there. And again, like, how often does that happen? And we had it 3 times. And whenever you get a sign 3 times, that's a big sign. That's like a concrete sign for you to pay attention to. So we felt really blessed and grateful for the messages of the eagle, and it was just surreal and magical and beautiful. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about was our experience in the underground cave again this year. And I made a YouTube video back in, it was 2011, I believe. 2011? I'm sure it was before 2012. Or it might have been 2012. It was either 2011 or 2012. And I'm pretty sure it was 2011 though. Anyway, I don't remember. One of those years. And if you look, actually it's probably my 3rd highest viewed video on my channel. So you can either do a search for it on my channel. It's the Underground People, and you'll see it. But I just wanted to kind of do an update, because now we're in 2015, so it's been 4 or 3 years later, and we've been going to that cave every year. And I've kind of wanted to stop going to that cave, because the last few times we've been going, there's been a lot of dead things in there, and I don't quite enjoy that. And I don't know, I just, like, last year I said, no, I'm done, I don't need to come to this cave anymore. But then I had some people coming to the retreat from Sweden, and they wanted to go. So of course, you know, someone's coming from Sweden, I'm not going to tell them no. And so we went back down again, and this time there was a really huge jawbone of some kind of animal. We can't figure out what it was. I think it must be a bear or something. I mean, it was huge. I don't even know if it was a bear. It was a bear. Whatever it was, it's really, really huge, with these really big teeth and in there. But I have to say that whenever you go into the underground hidden cave, where you go in your energy is completely different from where you go when you're just outside on top of the earth. So when you're outside on top of the earth, like me talking to you now, we're just kind of like this. When we're looking around, we're outside of ourselves. But when you go down into the underground cave, you automatically go inside. You feel yourself go right into your heart space. Even though there's other people with you usually, and you're looking around the cave, you're not sitting there with your eyes closed all the time, you would think that you would be outside of yourself because you're looking at your heart, you're looking at what's around you. But actually you feel yourself go just right into your heart space. It's like amazing. So when you go into the underground, you automatically go into this heart space. And when you're above the ground, you go out of the heart space. And of course, hopefully you're training yourself to be more in your heart space. That's one thing I, help people learn how to do. But when you go in the underground, you just naturally go there. So you're in this really centered place of your soul, of your heart, and it's just amazing. So I'm not really enjoying myself being in there because now there's this other dead thing and there's like bugs flying around, and then there was like a bunch of droppings. Like when we first used to go in there was nothing like that in there. Now there's just like all this stuff. So I keep going, I don't want to go back there. I want to find another cave. This cave I don't really want to be in. But we started doing some Ohms to connect with the underground people. And if you watch my last video, I tell the story of the amazing things that happened. So I'm not going to talk about that again, but you can go watch that video. So we were just Ohming to connect down with them. And I was telling them, the people that were with me, that we're multidimensional. So we can be, at that part of the cave and down at the core of the earth with the underground people at the same time. We can be in all dimensions at the same time. So it's just a matter of recalibrating, aligning yourself and having the awareness that that's what's happening, and imagine that happening, that you start feeling that and being that. And so it's all about training yourself to be able to do this. And so we were Ohming and doing that, and then what happened? All of a sudden, I don't remember what happened. I was starting to get messages. And from the underground, he was like, you know what? I'm actually hearing them. They're talking to me. And so I started relaying the messages, and the messages were amazing. And they were talking, I don't remember everything, how I heard it that time. I should just I should record myself, but I just never know when this stuff's going to happen. But they were talking about how our world is going through a chaotic change right now. And that what's happening is Mother Earth is actually going through a huge purging. So as she's purging, it's like vibrating, and it's lifting out from the core of her and vibrating outwards, right, as a release. And so that's the same thing that happens to us. When we have a release, it could come from deep within, and it starts vibrating through our body and eventually making its way out into our aura, which is our emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. And it can get stuck in a body part, or it can get stuck in our aura, in an emotional place, in our mental place, in the spiritual place. It can get stuck in many areas, or it could just release. But the good thing about getting healings and stuff is finding those blockages and moving them out. And so you don't have to deal with the process of it eliminating itself on its own. So there are ways that you can detect these blockages and move them out faster if you understand your energy, if you know how it feels to have stuck energy. Like I can tell when something's stuck in my body or in my energy field, and I will move that out. And then that's what I do in my healings. That's a lot of what I do in my healing work, my light activation healing work. So anyway, Mother Earth is purging the same way. And what they were saying is it's also very uncomfortable for them in the underground, that they're experiencing this uncomfortableness because, hey, they're right in the core, right? They're in these underground cities, and Mother Earth is purging in a big way. And so it's vibrating through them and then vibrating through the earth plane. Through the earth plane and through us. And so we're all feeling it. And they were also saying that they didn't even want to come up to the surface. As you know, underground people can be in the inner earth, and they can come up and interact with us just on the regular earth plane. if they want, but they're saying that they really don't even want to come up and be a part of that because they have enough problem, you know, their feeling is uncomfortable down there. They just don't want to feel it up here too. It's even worse. But basically they were saying to, you know, you're okay, everything is okay, like don't worry about what the state of affairs looks like, what's going on in this earth, the things that just seem like they're going crazy, like things that don't make sense, like things that seem insane, that it's purging, and when it purges, that we're going to be left with the most beautiful heavenly experience of where we are in this world, and that we are going to see that in our lifetime. And they said what you would have thought was heavenly, like, you know, they were talking about Panther Meadows or somewhere beautiful in Shasta, or even anywhere where you might live or where you might go, a place that you might think is really beautiful and heavenly now. They said it's going to be so much more heavenly that you're going to be like amazed, like, oh my gosh, how could it be this amazing? And really, I felt that feeling by the river at that place we found. I felt like, how could this be real? Because this is way too amazing. Like, it just seems like, how could there be such a beautiful, magical place like this? It just, you know, it doesn't seem like we could have that in our lifetime. I mean, super magical and super beautiful. But they're saying that it's going to be like way more than that. So it really, truly is going to feel like heaven on earth. So their guidance was to not get worried that everything seems crazy, to know that this is just one big, huge purging. Mother Earth is going through its purging. And also I heard that she is going to be doing some major clearings, meaning large amounts of people dying. That's the things clearing, whether it's land or people or whatever, but things are going to start clearing more and more big things all at the same time, because Mother Earth is a big, huge earth, and she can, you know, people have been, you know, careless and damaging her and ruining so many things and polluting and just basically raping Mother Earth of so much. It's so sad. And we don't have to worry about Mother Earth not being able to take care of herself or replenish, because believe me, Mother Earth knows exactly how to cleanse herself, how to clear herself and replenish. And if that means getting rid of large amounts of people or situations or areas, she will do that. And I expect that we will see some of that happening, and we have already seen some of that happening. And because they have told me that, I believe that we'll be seeing more. As they were giving me message, they were giving me so many messages talking about being healers, and because everybody in the group there was practically a healer, and, you know, giving us advice about things like that and talking to us personally. I mean, it was like I could have stayed there and talked to them all day. It was so clear. The connection was so clear. And at first when I heard them, I felt it was coming from the inner earth. But then they were right next to us. I could feel them between us. I started feeling feverish and hot. And I was like, you know, gosh, I'm so hot all of a sudden. Like, it felt feverish and hot. And then everybody else was saying, yeah, they felt hot too all of a sudden. And it was because of their energy. We were not alone. They were all not all of them, but there was a lot of them with us, standing between us, and present in that same space with us. So we could feel the heat because there was just so many of these energetic beings next to us. And like I said, I loved the fact that I felt so connected. I could hear them so easy. I was just getting their messages and just having this conversation like I was just talking to anybody next to me. And I could have stayed there all day talking and getting information. It was amazing. And really beautiful and really helpful. And you know, that's the one thing, like I don't like going in there, but I can't deny the connection I have in there, the connection to them. When I'm not in there, I don't necessarily feel connected to them, but when I go in there, I do. I feel this, feel their presence. I feel their connections. I hear their messages really easy and really clearly and undeniably. So it is really amazing. So what I'm asking them is to show us a new cave, a cave that's, because it just feels like other people have found that cave, and it just doesn't feel as pure as it did when we first started going there. So I'm asking them to help us find an even better cave, and so we'll see what happens next year. And I just really wanted to share the update with you about the messages from the underground, and that how present we could feel them. Everybody could feel them. And in fact, I'm going to end this video. Well, no, I'm not going to do that because that's just going to take too much time. But you can do a search on my video channel that says Underground People voted #1. And it's just a short clip from my Mt Shasta journey, when I'm asking everybody what they enjoyed most on that day, and how I couldn't believe that everybody that went to the cave said, because not everybody went, it wasn't part of the journey, it was just an optional thing, that they all really enjoyed the cave. And I was surprised that I said it, and I think there was a couple of people that were surprised that they said it too, because it really is not that enjoyable going in there anymore. But just feeling those amazing beings with us, and getting those messages were amazing. And somebody took a picture of me, and a couple of pictures of me, and there was a bright white light above my head. So that was pretty cool. And I don't know if I can get those pictures. I'll put them on this video, but I don't know where they are, so I probably won't. Anyway, I just wanted to share an update on the underground stuff, and that's it. Okay, everybody, Shasta was out of this world amazing. Join us next year. You will be glad you came. All right, talk to you all later.